Namaskar. I welcome you all on our program Culture Matters with Kailash. Tomorrow we are going to celebrate the International Day for Women. And tomorrow, with Dr. Geeta Malhotra, we are going to Kutch to work with the women of Kutch. Kutch is the biggest district of India where the very cultured people are living, practicing their cultural way of life in complete harmony. How they challenge the hardship of nature is something that can be seen, viewed, understood, and perceived while going there. So Dr. Geeta Malhotra does this as member secretary of, as a country director of Read India. This year UN has declared in their mission statement for 2021 Women in Leadership Achieving an Equal Future in a COVID 19 World. We all know how the COVID has been influencing our life. Everything is shattered. People are living restless life. Even though if some organization, which is a women-centric organization, has been working with the women, with a women leader, that will be the most ideal situation. And that organization is Read India, Rural Education and Development India. And the lady who is the country director is Dr. Geeta Malhotra. So in today's talk, I am going to discuss with Dr. Geeta Malhotra how in the COVID-like situation she has managed to deliver her services to the people, to the stakeholders who are scattered in 13, 14, states of this large country called India. So Geeta ji, you are most welcome here. एंड बहुत बहुत नमस्कार आपको और किस तरह से आपने यू हैव टेकल दैट दिस कोविड पेंडेमिक्स एंड इन दिस situation, how have you gone ahead with your multiple innovative and I can say digital network? How have you reached the people? How have you helped them? How have you managed to read the pulse of those people, your stakeholders, living in utter ignorance, living in utter psychological horror and terror like situations? How have you managed? I have seen you working. I have seen you working from very close. And I must tell my audience that even this Culture Matters with Kailash is a platform which has been initiated, which has been supported, and which has been intellectually stimulated by Read India under the dynamic leadership of Dr. Geeta Malhotra. Madam, namaskar.
Thank you so much, Dr. Mishra, for organizing this program on the eve of the International Women's Day. You know that we together are traveling to Kutch to meet with the 150 women whom we are training on Kutchi embroidery, and also launching a library for their daughters and sons in that area. So it's a wonderful opportunity to be associated with FolkBrain, with Dr. Mishra in person, as well as his, I should say, Pandara of knowledge. Because wherever I am stuck, wherever I need support, wherever I need more intrinsic thoughts, Dr. Mishra is always available. Thank you very much, Dr. Mishra, for that support, which we always look towards you. Very well said, Dr. Mishra. The UN has declared that the women-led organizations are in the forefront for collaborating, for partnering, for reaching, for speaking, and also empowering the women around them. And Read India, who is a affiliate of Read Global, all senior leaderships are women. So the organization was started by Dr. Antonia Nubior in the name of Reed Global, started working in Nepal in 1991. She is the dynamic woman who envisioned that how Reed can contribute to the rural development through community library and resource centers. And then all three country directors are women. And of course, the whole journey is led by the women in three countries: Nepal, India, and Bhutan. So Read India started in 2007, though I took over in 2008. The journey has been very, very beautiful. The first initially philanthropic support, then CSR support, but the women-centric programs we started in 2012 when Walmart approached us and said that, okay, we give you a challenge of changing the library face and inculcating the programs for women. And we started in 2012 in one of the districts of Rajasthan in Dausa, where Walmart told us, okay, we are giving you 150 sewing machines. You train 3,500 women. It was not easy, sir, because we had to understand the perceptions of the women, whether they really want to learn. See, I don't want to create that time, a white elephant on my head, until women take the ownership. So the journey started from there only. And the outcome was that at least 50 women out of the whole lot were earning 10,000 to 15,000 rupees per month by stitching cotton bags for Walmart and Bharti, because the polythene was banned. From there, we started the journey, and during COVID, it really was an eye opener for us. Immediately when the lockdown was started in March, we started online trainings through Zoom, thanks to the Read model, because we had already computers and free access to internet in our libraries. The women walked 10 miles, 20 miles to come to the center, uh, organizing everything through social distance and sanitization, hygiene practices. We started mental stability sessions because we did not want that women should their mentally they go down and then they say, okay, the life is now changing, we don't want to think of our development. So the journey was tough, though, during March last year, but women adapted to technology very fast. Back home in the organization, we started collecting data: who have the mobile phones, who have the access to internet at home. And those women who didn't have, they started walking to the center and started attending the programs on mental stability, leadership. These two programs really helped us to be connected with the women in rural areas. And we are present in 12 states through 47 community library and resource centers, and we were able to reach almost 10,000 women in 1 year through technology platform, which they highly appreciated. And otherwise it would have not been possible for us. We took COVID-19 as an opportunity to interact with women on the technology platform. That's what I just want to say. And the outcome was, the women stitched the masks. We distributed almost 1 lakh masks among the rural areas. We got the orders. Women earned money by stitching masks. And then many women also did ration distribution in their own areas. So it was a chain. Read India was connected with the leader groups of the women, and leader groups were taking lead in the villages to take care of the other women and their families during COVID. And we were the winners, I should say. That we means women groups were the winners in the whole scenario when we were addressing COVID pandemic last year.
Great. This is what I wanted to hear from you. See, I have received a small film from your organization. It's
Yes,
a
sir.
3 minute, 2 minute, 30 seconds film, and that depicts exactly what your organization is doing in a nutshell. So, watching this 3 minute film, 2 minute 30 seconds film, our audience would know what exactly Read India has been doing. So, if you permit me, I can show that film.
Please, please, sir.
Thank you. So, this was your inspiring rural prosperity. And the rural prosperity was very clearly reflecting through this video. You know, in research, we are using a term heuristic, and the literal meaning of heuristic is self explain, something which does not necessarily need any explanation. So, that is the power of your work, your intervention as women with the women of the society. So, that is the power of your charismatic leadership. The one thing that Gitaji I have learned from you is do not talk much. Let your work speaks. So your work is speaking. That is the USP of you, USP of Read India, and USP of Dr. Geeta Malhotra. I would tell you again, I will come back to the situation where you said that with all problems, havoc, you know, uh, the how bad a word positive can be, we have realized during this pandemic called COVID-19. Because if you know somebody is positive, it gives you lot of the horror, lot of negativity in your mindset. You are not in your world. So I would tell you to please elaborate your journey little bit. How have you managed? Yet initially you also were very troubled, and then you have managed. Managing. You don't have one center, two center, or three center. You have more than 50 centers in 13 states of India, and dimensions of your work is increasing every day. Every day you take up new centers. Every day you see there is a lady called Dimple Khera. She's been telling that she's our mentor. So I will tell you, please narrate it further.
Sir, the one sentence I would like to share here, I have been enjoying my work so much because it was not a job for me and it has never been for me. I took this as a mission because I realized during the journey of my own life that woman has to come in the forefront. I remember when I asked my father that I don't want to become a teacher, I want to serve the community. He said, by becoming a teacher, also you are doing the same thing. I said, no, by teacher, I am sitting in one school, but I want to go to the whole India to meet women. So he was very amazed about my thought process, but God helped me. But I would like to say here, when you are committed, when you want to do something in your life with positivity, with commitment, the doors are always open, and that happened with me in the initial stages. Coming back to the multiplication of the centers, sir, I would like to share here that as a management principle, we have to spend 80% of the time in planning and then 20% in execution. But as a leader, it is vice versa. So you do the thing, learn the mistakes, address the challenges, and then move forward. So this has been the journey for me like this. And the second point I would like to make here, that we never dictate terms to the communities, to the women we are working with. We go, we sit with them, we live with them, we talk with them, we understand their minds, we understand their thoughts, we encourage them to be open with us, share their hearts with us, and then we respect their culture very much, sir. Without respecting their culture, we cannot dare to bring a woman out of her home with the permission of the husband and the families. So culture matters a lot, sir. I am emphasizing your statement here that without ignoring culture, we cannot do anything. Now, in multiple states, Rajasthan, Haryana, Maharashtra, Karnataka, uh, Tamil Nadu, Manipur, the culture varies. The culture varies from district to district also. So we understood them so well. For example, the tribal women in Baran, Saharias, we understood them very well. I stayed with them. I ate with them. I walked with them so much so that they bring trust in their minds about me, about the organization, and what we are going to do for them. Similarly, sir, for Manipur also, for Karnataka also, you have also traveled with us. These are the interior villages where I am talking and meeting with the tribal women and encouraging them to come forward. So culture is one of the major aspect which we have to understand. The second point is their attitude, whether they have the attitude for self growth and development. And I am speaking on behalf of the million of women. Every woman has aspirations, sir. They are sitting at home because they first want to serve the family, serve the children, serve the husband, and then they think about themselves. What we did, we told them, you do everything you want to do for your family, but you have to manage your own time, to take out time for your own growth. You first spend time to think over what you are. what you want to do in your life, how you want to spare time for yourself, whether it's night. In Bara, we are doing night classes, sir, for women for adult literacy, because the whole day they don't get time. For women in other areas, there are no time restrictions. Whenever they want to come to the center, they are welcome, and they want to learn a skill, it's their choice. I am not focusing on that, that no, we have brought this and you have to learn this. No, whatever you want to learn, you just learn. We will help you to learn whatever your desires are. We are providing you the free space. You realize your dreams while coming to the Reed Community Library and Resource Center. And sir, giving this open space to them, and these trust building discussions with them, they are amazing. Now you have seen the stories of many women, and we have brought two books on stories of women transforming their lives. You are the witness, sir. I don't have to tell this to you. So I'm just sharing with the people around. It's all depending on how we perceive our programs, how we approach them, and how we are going to dealt with the common challenges. The challenge which a woman has in the rural area is a challenge for me also, because I have to address that challenge. I have to walk with her to address that challenge. I have to understand how she can mitigate that challenge. So the progress is slow, but it's stable. And the women who have come forward, now I am 100% sure they will not look back, that okay, Read India is not there, now we are just sitting in our homes. No, they have taken the leadership roles in their hands. And sir, recently during COVID, I take sessions on leadership twice a week on my own. Sir, I make my presentations, I learn, I discuss with them, and such a good response I am getting through these workshops.
I want to, the very brilliant thing. You explain thing in few words, and those words are, like the talisman of Gandhiji. I will tell you one thing: hope, one thing; aspiration, second thing. You know, uh, differences in culture, third thing; and gender, fourth thing. These are the essential elements with which culture travels, sustains. If there is no plurality of ethos, there will be no culture matters. One thing. Second thing, which is very, very important, is once Einstein was asked, what is that found in every uniqueness that we find in every human being? You know what Einstein responded? Einstein said, You are talking about similarity. I will tell you, every human is dissimilar. That is the similarity of human. So same thing applies with culture. India is great because we have diversity of culture. India is great because we are known as melting pot of cultures. And tackling those issues is a very great thing. I remember going to you with you in Manipur and working with the women who were engaged in the production of handlooms and other things and selling them in Emma market, the mothers market. And you took an inspiration from them. You discussed it with me one time, two times, and I remember almost 100 times. Dr. Misra, can we can we really employ such techniques, such wonderful thing, practices everywhere in India? If this is done, the perfect situation of women and in their role play in the decision making of the family, society, and nation can be guaranteed. So, this is your perception. You have rightly said that you don't go to people to teach them, to deliver sermon, to tell them do's and don'ts. You go to the people with your open eyes, ears, and mind, with your heart. You go to the people with the sense of learning the problems that they have. Also, you try to understand the solutions of their problem that they want. I, for the interest of my readers or audiences, I want to share one thing. Once Dr. Geeta Malhotra told me to go to her one of the centers in Manipur. I went there. I stayed there for 10 days. On ninth day, a lady came to me. She did not disclose about her. Later on, she did disclose, but I am not going to disclose, tell you anything about her. Just a lady came to me. She said, "We are 30 women. We want to meet you." I said, "Okay, we'll meet." "Sir, but we want to meet you in isolation in a room. The room will be dark. And when you will be there, then we will tell you everything." I went there, and those 30 plus lady told me that they all are STD patients, sexually transmitted disease patients. And then we also discovered that most of the ladies are suffering with this disease not because of their mistake, but because of the mistakes of their spouses. They have committed wrong things, and then they are again coming to them for their sexual pleasure. And this is how the disease has spread. And then they said that वो जो कहते हैं ना यारो उठो मरने से पहले जीना ना छोड़ो. They said that we don't want to die unnaturally. We don't want to die with, hopelessness. Before we die, we want to see that we are going to do some great job. I said, "What great job do you want to do?" They say, "We want to do some business. We want to start, shop making establishment and chalk making establishment and something." And they said, "You tell your organization to give us some financial assistance. We will start our business. We'll give you assurance that we will employ only women. And then every month we will, from the very second month, we'll keep returning your corpus fund, and we will establish ourselves. So when we die, we'll have a sense of relief that, okay, we are dying, but after we die, our children will not be beggars." That was the power of your working in the community that you have created. I want to tell my audiences that these are the real things that I am telling you, core references, examples, life examples from the field, and possible that has been possible because the organization is run, managed sensibly by a lady who is the country director of that organization, a lady who does not sleep. Because sometimes 4 o'clock morning, if I have to write some message, I write to her, and immediately after 5-10 minutes, I get a response. "Dr. Misra, I have read it, and these are the things we want these new points to be added, and therefore this kind of passion you have, like you don't differentiate between home and office. There is no difference for you, for the staffers and your own children. I know many girls and boys who address you as their mother, amma. So that respect you have developed, and these are the greatest thing that you have, that greatest achievement that you have achieved. And I am telling you all those things not because I am associated with you. I am telling you all those things because I have been a co-traveler with you in many of your projects and in many of your areas. And as an honest student of anthropology or ethnography, I have been reading the pulse of the people you have been working with from them. So I will tell you again, like we call it digital services. what you have been doing. I have seen also. I have also delivered a couple of lectures for them. And I see the responses of the people, your stakeholders, the girls, the women, are the best thing that I have seen you. You have gone to the people. I saw you going to a lady who was doing the job of bandhani. You know that the dying job before dying, it is that this bandhani job is there. And then I have gone to a person, some Ravari community, and they were doing the embroidery job. I was just trying to understand what they are doing, but you had gone one step ahead. What was that step? Within 10 minutes you learned that technique of embroidery, and they said correct, it was the right way of doing. And I saw 4 or 5 ladies from young to the old one alike, they all were engaged in teaching you, so you went there as learners. And then I realized, oh my god, searching this idea for working, making them for the working place of Read India was a much better choice, because it is not the matter that we are working with 150 Rabari in the Kutch area of Gujarat, but the country director is trying to understand the technique that is involved in the process of embroidery. That through your practice you do. So I would again tell you, please elaborate them little in a very very fascinating way, the way you have been doing. Please.
It's a very well articulated, actually,
But with all
simple,
actuals.
simple things in a beautiful manner, sir. I just want to mention here 4 points, sir. The 4 points are that when the doctor go to the patient goes to the doctor comes to know the disease with the pulse, right? And my passion has always been to know the pulse of the mind of the woman. I never go with preparation to the field, sir. I never ever went any field with the preparation, because I always went there to learn from them. Because as a woman, I though I have all degrees and all, but that is not my learning. That learning is not helping me to work in the field. The learning which is helping me to work in the field is to know the maximum from them. And sir, another thing with that mindset that I don't know everything. I am not a kind of a robust who can do everything. That's why I go to the field, learn from them, learn the art of talking, learn the art of dressing, learn the art of stitching and all. And the embroidery is one of the example you have given. So this is one thing, the pulse we should know. And the other thing is that emotional intelligence of the woman, which is very, they are very intelligent emotionally. They can tell you everything, as you gave the example of the Manipur woman sitting in a room and telling that they want to do. Why they are doing? Because they have trust in the organization, not in me itself, because as an organization also. So the second important thing is emotional intelligence. You have to uh, I always learn the jargons, that empathy and sympathy. But yes, another term which we have to understand is the emotional intelligence as well as the cultural intelligence. They are much much more intelligent than me while sitting there waiting for me, because these 3 points made me talk to them, learn, and also design the programs based on all these major points. And the fourth point which I just want to reiterate here and want to tell everyone, whenever you are going to the rural areas, don't consider them that they don't know anything. Respect their learning. Their learning is much more higher, not recognized as degrees, but they all have honorary degrees which no one in the country is recognizing, sir. If we tell them to run the institutions, they can run much, much better than us, than qualifying with degrees and skilling and whatever we are doing. So that is the perspective in my mind. That's how I do workshops with them. That's how I talk to them. And so, very important thing is why we do all these things, because we want them to understand us and we have to understand them. Only then the partnership can happen, and this partnership will never break if we understand them fully. They will never forget us. They will never say, okay, you are not allowed to come in the villages. Every time I go, you can understand how respect, and they really wait for us from their heart, not as a formality. The point which I would like to make here is that women have already been the leaders in their own spheres, but they were not given the opportunity to show their leadership qualities. We just created an opportunity for them, and they showed their leadership qualities, which was hidden inside them. And I always used to tell them कि शीशे में अपनी शक्ल देखो तो शीशा साफ करते हो ना, ऐसे अपने मन को भी साफ कर लो. जो मन में एटीट्यूड जो छिपा बैठा है, उसको बाहर निकालो, और उससे सोचो कि आपको अपनी लाइफ में करना क्या है. So 10 scale formula, when, because being a researcher I have to get the data also. So 10 scale formula developed by Read India is: when a woman is prepared to think of herself, when she is prepared to come out of the house, when she is prepared to learn a skill, when she is prepared to open her mouth in the closed group, when she is prepared to speak in front of the society, when she is prepared to speak in front of the bigger audience, and when she is prepared to take decisions about herself, about her children's growth, especially the girl children, and how she is involved in the decision making of the family decisions. So these powers we cannot address in isolation. We have to address this by having the confidence of their husbands, their in-laws, their families. And sir, in our libraries, three generations come: mother-in-law, daughter-in-law, and their granddaughters. They all work together. Why? Because when we used to call daughter-in-laws, the mother-in-law used to come silently and see why she's spending 4 hours there, why she's not doing household work. When mother-in-law came, she also came for 4 hours, and then she encouraged her granddaughter also to come along with her, because it's a free space, it's a learning platform, it's a growing organism, I should say. The libraries are like that. That's how we were able to involve them in decision making, sir. The decision is not mine how to run the library. Decision is theirs how to run the library. This is not my decision that they have to learn what skill. Decision is there what they want to learn and take it further.
This is,
तो मैं
really great.
बिकॉज ये मेरे दिल से आ रहा है.
There, please continue, carry on.
मैं फिर
You
चुप
know,
कर जाती हूँ
you,
कि मैं इतना ही बोलती जा रही हूँ, डॉक्टर मिश्रा को भी चांस
नहीं
देना
नहीं नहीं,
चाहिए.
अच्छा लग रहा है. We have Dr. Nitin Malik. Earlier he was the joint registrar of with IP University. Now he is a full registrar with Ambedkar University, Delhi, and he has been appreciating your work. He says very rightly, Dr. Geeta, and I am his junior, so he says nice KK. All my seniors and juniors and professor in the department of anthropology, they address me as KK. So he has been, thank you, sir, Dr. Nitin Malik. And we and Dr. Geeta and I work with you at your organization. Also, we organize seminar, exhibitions, and all those things. Culture matters. And again, if things is all right, things are all right, we can come to the Ambedkar University also, and we can seriously think of collaborating with your new university wherein you have been working as a registrar. Thank you, sir. Thank you for your encouragement. Geeta ji, I will tell you, I am a full-time student of research. I would not say researcher. And reading and writing is my passion. And reading and writing plus visiting the area, working with the community. These three things make Kailash Kumar Misra. And for this, you play very prominent role. You allow me to go to the people, work with them, and then write the report and do everything. And when we started working in this, pandemic with this our channel, Culture Matters with Kailash, we found that artists from all walks of life, all folk artists, whether it is terracotta, it is weaving, it is artificial jewelry, uh, you know anything you name. And then we could manage to invite some 40 Padma Shri, more than 50, the national award winner, and countless number of state award winners. We have identified a family where 24 awards were given. We visited that area. The only Sant Kabir Awadi from, Jammu Kashmir, the Pasmina weavers and father-son duo, they came and they were there. Then we work with the metal worker, woodworker, that and so many things, inlay workers and all, the artists, I'm sorry, artists, singers, writers, poet, master, anthropologists, decision makers, doctors, all those people. And then we realized that COVID-19 also came to us as an opportunity to explore new dimensions of scope, wherein we can work with the positive attitude with the people of diverse areas and diverse regions with distance. And this is also possible. Talking about the Library of Read India, I must tell my audience that it is probably the only organization in India which has been working with the people, where the people, the readers come every day more than 3 lakh plus reader come to our library, and they sit down there. So libraries of Read India are a multi-purpose public space of public sphere and public concern, where she said that 3 generations of women, but I would say all generations of men and women come to their library. The old come to read the sacred books and something like that. The children come, newborn babies come for the uh, that the children sections, and the women come, and the youth come for the students come for competitive examination preparations, and everybody come, and they come with meaningful thing. Library is not a very one centric point, only the collection of books, but this is a most happening place, collection of ideas, where people from all walk of life come, where our experts are there, and then their problems are being heard, narrated, solutions are being sought from the community and from the experts. So these things that you have managed, I always say that Indira Gandhi Center for the Arts, they have the very big library, more than 40 workers, but there are no 3 to 4 takers of library every day. They don't get 5 readers. That is the problem. But you don't have, even if you go to the remotest part of India where you have been working, you can say 30, 40, 10, 20 people are working and reading in your library. That technique that you have developed, it says that for doing the meaningful job, it is not the money which is the essential thing, or I will say money is not the only factor, it is one of the factors. So you have created that happening public space with public sphere and public concern in the rural urban and rural, a half rural, half urban area where you have been working, that you have said. I will tell you to talk briefly about library and gender sensitizations that your organization is doing.
Yeah, very well. Actually, the journey has been very beautiful, sir, because when we started making libraries I'm taking you back in 2008, when we used to say that, okay, we have come to your village. You are welcoming us as your guests, but we are not your guests. We are going to live with you here forever. But the deal is, the barter system is that we will give you books and computers and other infrastructure. You give us the land for constructing the library. So in 2008, you remember, we constructed Geetgad Gyan Kendra, we constructed Sanghai Pro Community Library and Resource Center in Manipur, we constructed in Bara, started from Ullon. The men were involved in the initial stages for taking decisions of having library in their own vicinity. Slowly we brought in the women by saying, okay, we have to constitute the library management committee where 50% of the members will be women. So we introduced women into the whole system. Now when women were introduced, the children were coming in the library for studying various books and all, and learning computers and various other programs. We introduced the concept of bringing women into the library and interacting with them what exactly their needs are, because every woman wants that her child should study, and she is very happy seeing the child having a book and reading it. But when we asked women, and coming back from the learnings you shared from Manipur, we introduced the programs of livelihood, we introduced the program of health. Adolescent health has been part and parcel of educating young girls on self protection, prenatal, natal, and postnatal care in the libraries, and providing them the books also to study. The qualified doctors come to the library and address these issues. The gender was evolved. We did not created a compartment between defining the gender of male and female, but we respected the gender and then addressed the needs respectively. And the point of cohesion, I should say, that was men were realizing the needs of the women, and women were started realizing the needs of the men. That's how the library focused on holistic development. I would like to give an example here. We are present in Devli village in Bharatpur district, where already constructed building, newly constructed building was given to us to set up a library by Sri Darshan Singh, who is living in Gurgaon. One day I got a telephone from the village that women have stopped coming to the library and they are very upset. I said, what happened? They said their agriculture is affected by insect, and they will lose all the money for the year which they are going to earn from their agri fields. Immediately I called a expert, told them, take your team to the village, help them to find out what is the problem with their crops. And that team stayed with them for 10 days and made them understand how they can protect their crop. So development sector cannot be run by addressing in isolation, especially the gender, because the woman is worried, my husband will lose the money, my family will not have any ration for eating. How can I learn a skill ignoring all these things and sitting in the library? So they rightly, with their own rights, came to us and said, these are our problems. If you are able to resolve our problem, only then we will come to the library. And immediately in 10 days their problem was resolved. Sir, being a professional, being a woman myself, I don't want to create the walls of gender, sir. The more we create the walls of gender, we are suffering. We are suffering because of this only. Humanity is first, respect for gender is first, addressing the cohesion and working together is the first policy, rather than addressing gender in isolation, sir. That is my very strong feeling, and I have been working on this, I should say, philosophy, and practically showing the results.
This is, I have witnessed this thing, and she has made a great statement. It is the statement of Dr. Geeta Malhotra. A statement is capital, italic, and double striped. It has a great meaning because you have seen how the loom is being developed, how the yard is being spinned, and the clothes are being woven. You know, she does not divide men and women into two, watertight compartmentalization. She bring them together. She is of the opinion that women in isolation cannot do anything, and men, if he does not respect his women, cannot grow the way he wants to grow. So what she does, she does not go with the dividing attitude. She does not go to deliver the sermons of the women's identity without man and all those things. It is a different thing. It is an advocacy chapter which is being taken care by some other organizations. She doesn't have to speak anything about that. But what is her concern? Her concern is, the Gandhian way of interacting with the thing through the practical, and applied approach. Her way is the way of, Gautam Buddha, the harmony. बिना के तार को इतना ज्यादा मत खींचो कि तार टूट जाए, बिना के तार को इतना ज्यादा ढीला मत छोड़ो कि उससे स्वर लहरी ना निकले. तो ये जो मध्यम मार्ग है, मीडिएशन, मध्यम निकाय, गीता मल्होत्रा हैज बीन trying, and she has been very successful in this practice of doing the things with the people where men and women are working together. A woman decides to, after proper training, getting training from Read India, to establish a beauty parlor, and husbands goes to the market, bring the things for her, create the custom base, and does other things. So the woman does not feel she is isolated. She has her husband also with her. And we have also seen examples that in one case, the lady's husband was sitting idle. He does not have any job. So lady learned this skill. With this skill, she went back to her husband. It is the story of Aurangabad, Maharashtra.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Beautiful story, sir.
It's beautiful
Because you,
story. You know, so that lady went to her husband, look, let us go to read it a center. They are teaching us, they are skilling us, they are upskilling us, they are telling us to establish our own business. Let us start it. So men said, okay, let me go. He comes, he observes the thing carefully, and after 2-3 days, an idea germinates in his mind. He says, let me open a kirana ka dukan khol lete hain उसमें, और औरत जो है ब्यूटी पार्लर खोल लेती है, एंड दे वर्क टुगेदर, एंड दे बिकम द एग्जाम्पल from for the rest of the community. That harmony is created. Again, I am telling you that harmony is created only when you go to see that no compartmentalization on the basis of gender, class, and class order is being done. If it has to do, if it has to go, it has to go in the most harmonious way. एक साथ खाना खाते हैं, सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु, एक साथ खाना खाओ, एक साथ चलो, और एक साथ चलोगे तो ये जो पुरुष और स्त्री का विवाद है, वो विवाद अपने आप खत्म हो सकता है। पुरुष को भी तो लगना चाहिए कि स्त्री भी मेरे लिए काम कर रही है, स्त्री को भी लगना चाहिए कि हमारा पुरुष अकेला नहीं है। द वे ए लेडी स्टार्ट earning and starts contributing in the economic affairs of the family, she ultimately naturally gets a power of contributing significantly in the decision makings of the family. And I have, like have you given the, I have given you the examples. It was recorded somewhere in my memory. There are so many examples when women are the decision makers, and there, because she is contributing financially, she has learned the upskill training, so she is skillful. And when she has learned the skill training, she has also been provided with the training of salesmanship. How as sales girl, she will be selling her product. And if she has been given this, she has been given the training of maintaining the accounts. She has been given the training of communication English. How would she be managing with the foreign that customers or the customers outside her area? So if she has to speak English, she will speak, and she will speak in a manageable way. So she has employed teachers. She has some tools available with her. With those tools she has been using, she has been working with the people with the disability. And so, in a way, she has been without any sense of reservation. Wherever she goes, she works with the community without any forward, backward, tribal, non-tribal, that the Brahmin and then this thing and Hindu and Muslims. Whoever the communities are there, who are in need, who those want support from Reed, some financial, some technical, some educational, some gender related, some psychological counseling. She has been some health related issues, some issues on maternity and childhood. She has been providing. She has been providing beyond boundary. She has been providing beyond caste, class, and power. And that is the USP of Read India, and that is the USP of Geeta Malhotra. I would tell you, please highlight your way of working in harmony, the syncretizing. Like, how you are, how we are managing and the success. I have just given one success story. I can give 50 success stories, and all are in my memory. I should not say, but I can give. But I want you to speak a little. You just give little elaboration how you are working, and how you are getting response from the community. That part, if you can highlight, Geeta.
सर, मुझे आप बहुत पीछे ले गए। एक बात मुझे जो याद आ रही है कि जब मैंने मास्टर्स सोशियोलॉजी करा था, तो मुझे ये सिखाया गया था कि समाज क्या होता है, इंस्टीट्यूशन ऑफ फैमिली क्या होता है, और आइसोलेशन क्या होता है, और समुदाय क्या होता है। ये 4 डेफिनेशंस मैंने बहुत अच्छे से याद कर ली थी जब मैंने अपनी मास्टर्स करी थी, और उन्हीं 4 डेफिनेशंस को लेके मैं फील्ड में उतरी। और मैंने बोला कि सबसे पहला मेरा डायलॉग जो होता था कि औरतें एक दूसरे को बड़ी टेढ़ी नज़र से देखती थी कि ये दूसरे कास्ट की है, ये अमीर है, ये गरीब है, ये ऐसे है। तो मैं सबको इकट्ठे बिठाती थी और उन्हीं को आपस में इंटरैक्शन करती थी, और मैं बोलती थी क्या हम समाज में रहते हैं, समाज का मतलब क्या है, समाज में का मतलब यही है कि हम एक दूसरे के काम कैसे आए, एक दूसरे के लिए कैसे जिएं। The first definition I used to share with the people. The second definition was that how we can build the institution of support at their level only, in their vicinity only. If somebody is in trouble, how the other people from the library can help them. The third definition which I translated into practice was that नॉलेज शेयरिंग. क्या होता था जैसे इन द लाइब्रेरी the girls who are coming from Muslim families, Hindu families, caste families, and scheduled caste families were sitting together. When they are going out from the library, they were walking into their own areas. But slowly, what happened? They were walking in the library together, sharing their ideologies, sharing their culture, learning together, eating together, and walking together hands in hand. So, that is the practice we followed in the libraries. That is one point I just wanted to mention. At the policy level, when I used to travel at the international level, everybody was talking about sustainable development goals. In sustainable development goals, one of the agenda is gender, one of the agenda is poverty alleviation, one of the agenda is education, one of the agenda was international relations. Last agenda, I said, coming back home from my India, I am going to the rural India, sitting in a library in the village. Those who don't know what are sustainable development goals, how should I translate these goals into their minds for action? So I never use this word, what are sustainable development goals? They will never listen to me. But every sustainable development goal, I designed an action point and how they can mitigate the challenges they are facing, and addressing together these sustainable development goals was the hidden agenda when we were talking in the libraries. The third point which I just wanted to mention here is when we talk about the libraries and respecting their culture, but we have to uh, grow our mind, our brain, our thought process with the emerging growth of the nation, how we have to change our thought process. And yesterday is the example, sir. I organized a small exhibition in the community center in our society where our office is, and I called the local councillor who inaugurated the library. The rural woman from Shabad Muhammadpur village, one lady said, सर मैं तो बिहार से हूँ और मुझे तो हिंदी भी बोलनी नहीं आती थी। रीड इंडिया की लाइब्रेरी में आके सबसे पहले मैंने हिंदी बोलनी सीखी, फिर मैंने अपने हुनर को पॉलिश किया, फिर मेरे हस्बैंड ने मेरी रिस्पेक्ट करनी शुरू कर दी क्योंकि मैंने बहुत पैसा कमाया। और ड्यूरिंग कोविड we got an order of making 1 lakh diya candle lights, and that woman declared in front of everyone that I earned 20,000 rupees, and my husband gave me 20,000 rupees, and the earrings which I am wearing of the gold, my husband encouraged me to purchase. So the kind of woman encouragement and the leadership which is reflecting in their talks, in their behavior, in their growing enlightenment life is the result of not the working in isolation or addressing gender or addressing the things differently. We have to take an integrated approach and bring them at a platform where they say, I have to work with the other women together and walk together and take our community library and resource center ahead. So that stage you have to bring them where they say it's not your, it's theirs. So that is the journey I would like to focus here when you're taking you're telling me how it happened. So sometimes you don't have to say the big jargons in front of them. You have to speak their own language to make them understand. This is how I have been doing, sir.
Small is beautiful.
Yes, sir.
Small is beautiful, and you have been doing it successfully. And this shows that how committed you are for the betterment of the community, because you don't see any difference between the community and the family, between the community and the institution, between the institution and your home, and between the workers working for the institutions and your family members. and that makes you unique. Now we are coming very close to the conclusion of our talk, and before I conclude, I would like to know from you one simple thing: how you see the prospect of future of women, because most of the experts of the world says that this situation of pandemic, COVID-19, would continue for another 8 months to come. So how you see the position of women and their status as equal partner of men, how they are how they are upgrading, how they're going to create harmony with the situations, and create their positions also in the society.
Yes.
These
Yes,
two
sir.
things.
Here, sir, I would like to acknowledge the donors, the corporates who are supporting us. Because when COVID came, they wanted to know from us what are the challenges on the ground. And we highlighted the challenges to them. And they immediately told us to divert some money to meet their immediate requirements, because nobody will come for skilling if we don't put ration into in their houses. So we made the women groups, they realized what exactly they need, and they were not taking this for them, they were taking for the poorest of the poor families, whose male members uh, went back to their homes and they didn't have any jobs. So we did not want to break the community where we were working. The second step, what we did, we analyzed that in the future they have to use the technology. In the future they have to use the platform of technology for their own growth. So then what we did, we switched over to the technology platform and interacted with them on a daily basis, what exactly their needs are and how we can address. Immediately the skills were shifted, sir. We started training them online selling, we started training them what is entrepreneurship, we started training them on cyber safety and security, because but now with money transactions online they should not lose their money whatsoever they are earning. Then we shifted over technology empowering girls, how technology could be used to pay the electricity bill, to book the air ticket, to get the doctor's appointment, because in during COVID they cannot go to the hospital also directly. So then we trained 1,000 young girls on as community health workers, sir. We appointed the doctors, they were going in the field in their villages and training them. And some trainings were happening online, and some trainings where doctors are calling the girls at their doorsteps and teaching them. Why we did community health workers training, sir? Because आने वाले समय में जहाँ पे डॉक्टर्स नहीं होंगे, लोग डॉक्टर्स के पास नहीं जा सकते, कम्युनिटी हेल्थ वर्कर्स उनको बेसिक नॉलेज, बेसिक हेल्प दे सकते हैं। और इम्यूनाइजेशन के टाइम पे जब वैक्सीनेशन विलेजेस में लगनी है, वो डाटा कलेक्ट कर सकते हैं और गवर्नमेंट को सपोर्टिंग स्टाफ की तरह मदद कर सकते हैं। सो द चेंजिंग सिनेरियो ऑफ कैपेसिटी बिल्डिंग चेंज्ड during COVID, sir. Then we started packing books in the newspaper and telling volunteers to go to the each household and give the books to the children who can't come to the library because the centers were closed. The third thing what we did, we partnered with many organizations, and thanks to my colleague in Bangalore, she started mobile libraries. And the story, which was 10 years back in Ullon, an old man was taking books on his shoulders, was repeated again now, because he was taking books on the shoulder village to village. Now the young boys and girls are taking the books in their laptop bags and giving to the children for study. My own team started preparing e-content for the children from 3 to 6 years because nursery schools were closed. We partnered with an organization who gave us the e-content free of cost for computer learning self learning. Those who have computers, they can learn computers through self learning tutorials. We gave the e content from 6th class to 10th class, including competitive examinations, through tabs which the donors donated us, and we are teaching them by creating a portal on our website, by creating a separate email ID and login password for them, so that they are not deprived of education. Sir, that vision uh, came to us due to COVID, and we did not want to lose the communities, the relationship, the trust we built with them. We wanted to continue with them, and we somehow are successful in reaching out to them during COVID time. And now they are more empowered. They have understood the dynamics of the pandemic, and they are more secured, feel energetic through our soft skills like life skills, leadership qualities, mental stability, because these three workshops are helping them to understand. And now women have started making their own stories, reflecting back what they were, and how the leadership sessions have helped them to realize their potential, and they are committed to take the cause further, because they know Geeta Malhotra alone cannot walk in 50 centers to 30,000, women all together. So I have created leaders in the villages who are taking the mission ahead, sir.
It is, if we really want to change and improve the health of the community, you have to create the leaders or change agent in the community among the community members only. Because
Yes.
if the community members are sensitive enough to accept those challenges and work with the community with the motivation and sense of belonging, they can change the fate of their respective society. Every day Read India is growing. It is growing in a much faster and democratic way, and they are touching the length and the breadth of this country called India, and they have dynamic leaders, dynamic mentors, dynamic staffers, and dynamic communities. So there is a complete harmony of givers, receivers, trainers, and trainees, and that makes it Read India a complete Read India. Please.
So one point I just wanted to add here. In Bangalore, Indian Institute of Public Health has given the kits to the women to learn how to measure the blood pressure, how to test the sugar, how to do the ECG. During pandemic, the communities cannot go to the hospitals, so they have trained community health workers to provide these services and charge very minimum from them to maintain the instruments given to them for all these tests. So this is how the partnership also comes, sir. That's what I just wanted to highlight.
So, thank you. Before I conclude, I just want to read out some of the comments that we have received. One lady says she is, that means Dr. Geeta is our mentor. She is Dimple Kheda, and we are learning every day new things from you, ma'am. Subraja, she says, wow. And there is one LinkedIn user, he has been saying the nation needs mentor like Dr. Geeta Malhotra. She has saved vision and future of millions of fellow citizens. Uh, I have told you, Dr. Nitin Malik, he says, nice kike, very rightly, Dr. Geeta Malhotra. And then we have again Mr. Aman, who has been saying that the Read India must collaborate with state governments like Jharkhand, Bihar, Odisha, Chhattisgarh, and others as it develops a community library with the holistic approach. And it would be better to say Read India has developed their libraries as complete life-changing centers with the innovative programs for all age group. So these are few comments. You deserve many more. Thank you, my dear friends. and let us celebrate women. Let us not worship them. We should not worship our women. We should see that they are given a space to breathe the way we are breathing. We should see that the women are taking, you know, role in the decision making process of family, society, city, and the nation. We should see that their words are heard. We should see that in everything, right from home to warfield, right from the house to the space, they are given partnership, due recognition. And these things are the responsibility of each and every Indian, all of us, according to our own limitations and area of concern, can add. Women's Day, according to me, is not a day to be celebrated by women. It is a day to be realized by the men, their counterpart. If the man has the ability to accept, not respect, accept the existence of women as equal partner, within inverted comma, in every sphere of life, in the democratic world, that would be the real thing for the International Day for Women. And if that is done, we will think and we can imagine that we are traveling together. With this, thank you so very much for coming to us. But for those who have joined later, I would like them to see your 2 minutes films again, if you allow me. Can I show them, Gitaji?
Yes,
Your
yes,
two
please,
minutes.
please, please. 2 minutes. Still, we have 3 minutes. 4:30. Still, we have time.
Thank you, Geeta ji, for sharing your thought,
Uh,
experiences.
Thank you
Thank you,
so much,
friend.
Shra, for
Uh,
organizing this on such a beautiful day. Thank you so much.
Thank you.